What's good to the tribe? Genealogy is the key. Genealogy is first. A lot of us we wonder why we can't get past 1870. And it's a lot of reasons why. But the main reason is that's when they really started recording us. So you have to find other ways of getting to the motive. Let's get it. Fair use. What was the first census to list all African Americans by name? The 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified and adopted in December 1865, effectively ended the institution of slavery. Although it did not ensure civil rights, also 1865 saw the end of the American Civil War. 5 years later, the 1870 U.S. federal census, was the first to enumerate all citizens by name, regardless of race, and it offers the first documented recording the surname of former slaves. Prior to 1870, only free African Americans were actually named in the census under the category other free colored persons. Those held as slaves were enumerated under the name of the slave owner. From 1790 to 1840, only the heads of the household were named in the census, including free people of persons of color. Other in the household, including slaves, were merely counted by numbers and in later census tallied by age and gender. The 1850 and 1860s were first to identify by name every free citizen in a household, including women and children, with a separate slave schedule for slaves. Slave schedules identify each slave by number, age, gender, and color under the name of the slave owner. Only in rare instances are the slaves mentioned by name, although the category of free persons of color was not used after 1840. Free blacks were identified by race, B for black, M for mulatto, in some instances identified as N for Negro. It also interests to note regarding our modern online census indexes, some of these transcribes the records may have confused the handwritten letter W with the letter N or M. Thus, it is very important for the researchers to personally examine the original census images to make sure you are comfortable with the information that's transcribed. This advice holds for the information presented in any transcribed document. The 1850 and 1860 census asked slave owners to identify the number of uncaught escaped slaves in the past years and the number of slaves freed from bondage on the past year, which may help in tracing ancestors of a certain age missing from one census year to the next. The 1880 census was the first to identify the relationship of every resident to the head of household, as do subsequently censuses up to 1830. The 1840 census is scheduled to release April 2012. In addition to relationships, these censuses are identified by age, last birthday, birthplace, occupation, literally, and other important information. By the 1880s, it still may be possible to find former slaves with the birthplace listed as Africa. Dodge the hijack. But take the time out. It's other places you can look for it. It doesn't have to be a census. And I'm going to give you some other suggestions that you can look it up. And if that doesn't work, we'll get a little better with it. Just remember, don't get discouraged. We're all doing this for a reason. Just make sure you take the time out to trace your family lines back. Because nobody can tell you about you but you. But look these other places, they might can help. And I love you guys. Feathers up, tribe up, wise up, rise up.